Well, hello guys and welcome back to Mr. G Physics. Here's Mr. G, and this time we're going to be doing another question for the grade 10s. I prioritize grade 10 because they're writing just now and generally they don't get too much or as much videos as the grade 11 and 12. This is going to be a question that we're going to solve on electromagnetic radiation. It's an important topic. It's not that much of a marks, but it's important to realize, and it's going to be a very small video. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe for the channel and thumb up so you can support the channel. I'll tell you in a moment. Well, as I said before, this is going to be a question on electromagnetic wave or electromagnetic radiation. It is for the grade 10 and it's very important, guys. It's not such a big amount of marks, but it's important to get full marks. This was question 3 done in the KZN province in South Africa in 2023 November examination. The question say a photon of wavelength 2 times 10 to the minus 7 meter is located within the X-ray range of the electromagnetic spectrum. All right, now remember the electromagnetic spectrum have a number of light. For instance, we're starting with a gamma ray, X-ray, ultraviolet, visible light, then is infrared, X-ray, and radio wave. X-ray, I already said it. I mean, microwave and radio wave. Those are the 7 types of electromagnetic radiation you are going to study, guys. You don't have to memorize a number in there, but you need to be able to organize them according to increasing in frequency or increasing in wavelengths. You need to know that the wavelengths and the frequencies are indirectly proportional there. So as you increase the frequency, the wavelength will be decreased and the other way around. It's important to remember that one. And of course, you need to be able to organize them according to increasing in frequency or increasing in wavelength is not that bad. Now write down the speed of a photon in a vacuum. All light move at the same speed, which that symbol is going to be symbol C. All light, it doesn't matter if it's an X-ray, gamma ray, visible light, infrared, it doesn't matter. All of them move at the same speed, which is given to you in the exam. The symbol is C, and it's going to be 3 times 10 to the 8 meters per second. That is the speed of light. In the vacuum, that is important. In the vacuum, it's not the speed of light anywhere. Speed of light can change as it moves from one substance to another, but is not a purpose right now. Calculate the frequency of the photon. Now, what we have, what data do we have here? And let's move a little bit to the bottom here and write the data we have. This is for question 3.2.1. But it's going to be also for question 3.2.2, the same data more or less. First, C, we just spoke about that. It's 3 times 10 to the minus, to the 8, not the minus, to the 8 meters per second. That is the speed of light and it's given to you. What else? We have the wavelength. The wavelength is equal to 2 times 10 to the minus 7 meters. We also have H. Now, H is a constant and is given to you at the end of the exam where you get the formula. There is a constant for Planck constant, which is the meaning of A, and is equal to 6,63 times 10 to the minus 34 joules second. That is H. So you need it as well. And guys, the rest is a question mark. The question mark in this question was frequency. And for the next one, for 3.2.2, they ask you to calculate energy. All right, so let's talk about this one. You have formulas you have to look. This one is wave, sound, and light. You will see a session there of the formulas speaking about this one. What formula can we use to calculate the frequency? Well, speed of light, which is we see, is equal to wavelengths multiplied by frequency, or frequency multiplied by wavelengths. It doesn't really matter how it is expressed in the equation. Now, this formula, guys, if you notice, is B equal to wavelength multiplied by frequency. The only difference is that C is the speed of light. You need to memorize that one. So don't use the formula of V equal to delta to lambda multiplied by f, rather use the correct one, which is this one here. So when you substitute, and I like to substitute in there, this one will be 3 times 10 to the 8 is equal to wavelength, which is 2 times 10 to the minus 7 multiplied by frequency. When you rearrange, frequency is equal to 3 times 10 to the 8 divided by 2 times 10 to the minus 7, you will get that the frequency is going to be, to the 8, let me just calculate, guys, with my calculator, 3 times 10 to the 8 divided by 2 times 10 to the minus 7, you'll get that is, the frequency is 1,5 times 10 to the 15 hertz. That is the frequency. Marking wise is quite simple. One for the formula, one for the substitution, one for the final answer. If you write this formula, you may not get marked. It depends. I'm not quite sure in other provinces or other places if you will get marked for that. And the correct formula is the second one. If you use the first one and you substitute correctly, maybe they'll give you marks. Don't try your luck, just write the correct formula, okay? There's one that's supposed to be there. Now, for the energy, there are two formulas that can be used. For energy, we have two formulas. This is energy of a photon. There are two formulas. Energy equal to HF or energy is equal to Hc divided by lambda. You can use either one, but which one is easy? The first one. We have all the data. So energy is equal to H, which we already did write the data there, 6,63 times 10 to the minus 34 times the frequency we just calculated is 1,5 times 10 to the 15. So if I calculate, I get that the energy is equal to 9,945 times 10 to the minus 19 joules. That is the answer I get in this question 3.2.2, guys. I hope you are with me in here. Okay. So now the next question say the wavelength of a photon is double. Will the penetrating ability of this photon increase, decrease, or remain the same? Explain your answer. Well. Let's speak about that one real fast. Penetrating ability have to do with energy. So let's write it here. That is question 3.3. And let's write it in here. The penetrating ability is straight related to energy. Straight related to energy. What does it mean? The higher the energy, the higher the penetrating ability is going to be. The lower the energy, the lower the penetrating ability is going to be. So that is something important. So penetrating ability straight related to energy. All right. Energy is straight related to frequency. Energy is straight related to frequency. How do I know that? Well, the formula is equal to HF. All right. It means if you increase the frequency, you increase the energy. All right. But if the other formula is also straight related to wavelength, this is equal to Hc divided by wavelength. Now, these two, you can see that energy is directly proportional to frequency, inversely proportional to wavelength. It means the higher the wavelength, the lower the frequency, the lower the energy, the less the penetrating ability. So if the wavelength of the photon is double, you increasing the wavelength, what does it mean? The energy decreases, and so the penetrating ability. So in other words, the correct answer here is decreases, because the penetrating ability is related to energy, and energy is inversely proportional to wavelength. So we can write here, let's see how can we write this one here. First of all, decreases. Why? Why decreases? Energy is inversely proportional to wavelength. If you want, you can write like that, or you can write frequency is inversely proportional to wavelength, all right, and energy is directly proportional to frequency, all right. And then finally, the penetrating ability, the greater, the smaller, because in this case energy decreases, the smaller the energy, the less the penetrating ability. The penetrating ability, let me see. Oh, there we go. Ability. And this is the end of this question. I hope it helped. It's a good question. It's not difficult. It's 10 marks for the exam, guys. You can get those 10 marks. But thank you for watching. If you think it helped, subscribe for the channel, thumb up, write comments, and I'll see you next time. Mr. G